listening to the Deep Purple Podcast, a fan podcast about one of the most legendary bands of all time, Deep Purple. We take a look at the music, history, and people behind the band Deep Purple and beyond. Welcome to the Deep Purple Podcast, the first and only podcast devoted to one of the greatest bands in rock history, Deep Purple. Today's episode is episode number 267, Nick Simper's Fandango, Future Times. And coming to you from the suburbs of Chicago, where it is Aurora Borealis time, I'm your host, Nathan Beaudry.
And coming to you from the suburbs of Providence, I'm your co-host, John, the Popcorn King, Matola.
Popcorn. Well, you did Illinois already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Popcorn. Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Orville Redenbacher.
Home of Orville.
Orville
Rickenbacker. OR. Yep. Home of the Popcorn King.
Orville. There you go. I got one.
Yep.
Not bad.
You did.
Not bad.
Well, it's easy if you're keeping track.
Why do I know he's from Indiana?
Because I said Popcorn King?
No, I just was like, oh yeah, obviously he's from Indiana, but I don't know why I have this knowledge.
Obviously. Obviously, he's the Popcorn King.
Everyone
obviously,
knows where Orville Redenbacher's from.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know where he was from until I got this sheet of facts.
Oh, there you go. Well, we're already up to Indiana, folks. It's unbelievable. How many states left? Because I feel like the latter half of the alphabet is doing more work than the first half.
Yeah, well, quite a few. What are we down? We're down like 12. No, wait, I'm sorry. This is 14.
Okay.
And we have 50 states, so
okay. By the time we're done, maybe we'll have more states. Maybe Guam will finally get the call they've been waiting for.
Now, well, only time will tell.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, welcome, folks. It was the Aurora Borealis, supposedly. Everyone on planet Earth was posting pictures of their amazing shots of the Aurora Borealis, and we just had clouds. So, and then
that's why I didn't.
My sister-in-law was staying over, and her and my wife woke up at like 4 a.m. to go out there where supposedly they're going to see it. Nothing. Just a complete. And people like 30 miles from here are posting these pictures of the sky all green. It looked amazing. Didn't see anything. Our Norwegian listeners will tell us how great they look because they probably see them all the time.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Not only did I not see anything, I didn't bother to look.
That's guaranteed way to not see anything. But hey, folks, the Deep Purple Podcast, we are 100% listener supported. So if you want to get some value, or if you want to give us some value for the value you get from this ad-free amazing model we have here, you can support our show a number of ways. One is by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. You can buy some merch at our Etsy store, and you can also become a patron on Patreon or on PayPal for as little as $1 a month. Help support the show. That gets you access to our ratings spreadsheet. It gets you access to our patrons only Discord, which is filled with people talking about all sorts of crazy stuff, mostly Deep Purple related, some completely unrelated stuff. You can see Mark Roback's weekly rankings of the top 5 or 10 best moments of each episode, or funniest moments of each episode, which by the time he posts them, I've already forgotten about. So it's always good to be reminded. You can also send us money on PayPal. You can send us money on Cash App or on Ko-fi. All those links are in the show notes. Check it out. You can also check out deepdivepodcastnetwork.com for other like-minded shows about other great bands. But we always open every episode by thanking our first group of patrons, which is our executive level. Coming in at the in memoriam tier, we have the wonderful late Gerald, Jerry, Kelly, and family. At the $25 uncommon man tier, we have Ovis, Nakvi, and Purple Maniac. At the 15 squid tier, we have Alan. At the 10-pound good doctor tier, we have Dr. Mark Catan. Mark.
Oh boy.
I'm biffing it all over the place.
I started using that now, biffing it.
Dikter Mook Pakoog. I'll get it one of these times. At the turn it up to $11 tier, we have Clay Wambacher, Frank Thielgard Mortensen, Mikkel Steen, Will Porter, PHDPP, and Michael, don't call him Bradford Bagford. And at the $10 Someone Came tier, we have Ryan M., Jeff Bryce, Victor Campos, Better Call Saul Evans, and Peter from Illinois. And at the Hughesoween by 2033 tier, we have Fielding Fowler. Give you a bonus blur for that one today. Thank you. Thank you, folks. Thank you to all those wonderful folks who support our show. So you've incorporated biffed it into your vocabulary?
Yeah, and not a lot of people are understanding what I'm saying, but they kind of think it's funny.
Where did I
It's
get
like,
that? I don't even know where I got that from.
I don't know, but I mean, it really it sounds appropriate. It's just like, yeah, man, I really biffed that one, and they're just like, which is a pretty good response to that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where like it's. I don't know where I got it from. I've been saying it for years, but it's.
Yeah, well, if anybody out there knows where it's
Yeah.
from,
If
the
anyone knows
origins.
the origins of the biffed it term, let us know. My preliminary research is people postulating that it's from Biff from Back to the Future.
I was
I
just
don't.
gonna say,
I don't think that that's it.
no,
No, I don't think so.
no.
But anyway, thank you for joining us. We are here once again. We've taken a well, actually, before we get to this, we got to talk about some upcoming shows. Blackmore's Night. You're going to be there June 30th.
30th, yeah.
Rich is going to be there the 30th. Both shows in Massachusetts. And then some upcoming September Glenn Hughes dates. And oh, you know what? We haven't even mentioned August 23rd in Chicago. Deep Purple.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what band are we seeing that time?
Oh
The
yeah,
actual band.
actual well, yeah, well, no, wait a minute. Yeah, I think, when is it? 23rd?
Yeah, they're playing in
go?
Detroit on the 22nd, which I'm
Oh, that's
hoping to get to Detroit
Yes, that's right.
and Chicago, but we'll see.
That's
Detroit's
right.
not too far from me. It's only about 4 or 5 hours. So
Okay, I think yeah, that's the one where Rich and I have not solidified the plans yet. The travel plans.
And I'm not helping. So
you rarely do.
Yeah, well, the problem is we're also planning on going to Rhode Island a few weeks before that, so I'm just like hard to think of how much more time I can take off of work in that month. So maybe if I shorten up the Rhode Island trip, I don't know. We'll figure something out, but I'll definitely be in Chicago because I could do that and work the next day. But the bummer being that if you guys come up, I don't want to be like, gotta go to work the next day. That would suck. But
yeah.
But anyway,
I'm sure Rich would survive.
Survive if I had to go to work.
Yeah, he'd be like, yeah, go to work. We'll find something else to do.
yeah, he'll be fine.
I mean, I would survive too, but because I have.
I mean, I don't think you guys would perish, but
yeah.
But it would be nice to be able to hang out.
Perish is like very that's very dramatic.
It's very dramatic.
I have to go to work and then you just see us perish.
I just imagine you just turn into dust. Like the wind blows it away. But yeah, the other thing we have coming up is our upcoming rankings show. It won't be until late July, but we're ranking the 3rd Deep Purple album. So patrons get to vote and rank the songs on albums for these rating shows. And as a patron, you get the invite to join us when we record our live stream episode. So that'll be a live stream. We'll talk about everybody's ratings. Should be a lot of fun. Should have Nikki's ratings by then. He said he was working on them.
All right.
He got back to me, so we'll see.
I love it. Awesome.
So yeah, hopeful. And then yeah, before we jump right into today's episode, we do have something to do, and that is, of course, Postcards from the Edge of Connecticut. All right, so this one's a doozy. Gotta find this one for you. So if you look at this postcard, it says,
oh my goodness,
the name of the lake, which I'll get into in a little bit, but do you want to give a go at pronouncing that?
Lake I don't know.
Okay, so this is, I don't know how many letters, a lot of letters.
Yeah.
40 something letters, a lot of G's. There's 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 G's in this word. And it's, I'm going to say Lake Charo Gagamancha Gaga Chawa Bungungamag. That's my,
That
that's my best guess.
didn't sound long enough for all those letters.
Yeah, I might have left a few gogs and chogs off. But this is in Webster, Massachusetts.
Get out of here.
Yeah. It's more I guess in English they in English, well, in Webster they more oftenly refer to it as Lake Webster.
Yeah, that's a lot easier.
It's a little easier, but it's you know, it's obviously a Native American word. Oh, I guess I don't know if you'd say word or if it's like a phrase, but the English translation of this so it says Lake Chawabogam, Webster, Mass. English translation of this jaw-breaking Indian name is "You fish on your side, I will fish on my side, and no one will fish in the middle," which is probably even fewer letters. So this says, Nate, greetings from nearby Palmer, Massachusetts on a cloudy May afternoon. Please try to pronounce Peter. So I think we have done our part in trying to pronounce that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not, silly enough to have pride about this. I'm man enough to admit that I've met my match.
And yeah, you just saw the letters and went ma ba ba da ba ba da.
Yeah, sounded like that guy on that guy on Fat Albert.
What was his name?
I don't know, the guy with the hat over his eyes.
Yeah, was it Rudy? I want to say everyone is Rudy.
No,
yeah,
but actually,
is he's the guy that had like the hat with just had the 2 cutouts for the eyes?
Yeah.
Was his name Mushmouth or something?
Yeah,
no, Mushmouth was different. Dumb Donald was the guy that had the hat.
Dumb
the eyes.
Donald.
Dumb Donald. And then Mushmouth was the guy, he didn't have the hat, but he was like,
yeah.
So,
but anyway, that's what I sounded like, pronouncing that. But yeah, Mushmouth, no, dumb Donald is the one with the hat over his face.
But the cutouts for his eyes.
Yeah, and the cutouts, and then actually, I'm looking them up here. I haven't had to look at these up for a while. Mushmouth, Dumb Donald, Bucky, Weird Harold,
Yeah.
Rudy Davis, which sounds kind of normal, Fat Albert, and Russell Cosby. He named him after his brother.
Russell. But I do have a pronunciation of this lake from somebody who seems to know how to pronounce it.
Yes.
Here. So here's the official pronunciation of the lake. What do you think?
Who am I to say that's not right?
Let's try to follow along. Yeah, all right. I'll buy it.
Who is that?
It's just somebody I found on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So have you ever seen the one like the Welsh weatherman who is, there's this name, it starts in like Wales and it goes like all the way to like Denmark on the map, and he like clearly just showing off that he knows how to pronounce this town, so he pronounces like it's I think even longer than that, but I've got a clip of that one too. This is a guy who knows how to pronounce it, but if you can look up the video on YouTube and see it, but here he is doing the weather.
With cloudy skies, but in the sunshine in northwest Wales at RAF Mona, just up the road from Llanfair to Pwllgwyn, Gwyndrabwll, Llantysilio, Goch. The temperature got to 21 Celsius.
So it's kind of a similar sort of feeling to that one.
Well, words are scary.
Yeah. The Welsh and the Native Americans know how to make a long word. So here's a U.S. newsman trying to pronounce the name of this lake. Let's listen to this.
Webster, Massachusetts officials have agreed to correct spelling errors in road signs pointing to a lake with a 45-letter Native American name. Lake Chagagagag Man Chagag Agag Chaban Agung Gamag has one of the world's longest place names. And even some locals have given up and simply call it Lake Webster.
So that's pretty funny. Like, I love how he sounded so out of his element, but he got all the pronunciation right. I think
It's funny because he said it like totally like just like a basic white dude like on
exactly.
TV. Just like Chewbacca.
Yeah, the Welsh guy is like, oh, this isn't the first time I've ever that guy probably practiced for like a little bit before the recording. Like the
Yeah,
Welsh
you could
guy's like,
tell.
oh no, I've been saying this place for a while.
Yeah, he
I'm
like he
show
could like
off
say
now.
it in his sleep, you know.
Exactly. It's pretty amazing. So the funny thing is that's I did the math on that, and that Lake Webster, we'll call it, is 24.5 miles from where I grew up and 28.4 miles from where you grew up. So, and this is the first time we're hearing about it. So there you go. I might have been there. I know I've been in that area. I just didn't know that that was quite the, it seems like something my dad would talk about a lot,
Yeah.
but I don't remember him ever saying that, but we'll see what next time he visits, I'll send him a picture of this postcard, or I'll show him the postcard, I should say. All right. Well, folks, here we are. It's been 220 episodes or so since we last covered Nick Simper's Fandango. And although we covered a Warhorse album more recently, maybe like 100-something episodes ago. But here we are, the second and final Nick Simper's Fandango album, which is kind of the band that morphed from Warhorse into Nick Simper's Dynamite into Nick Simper's Fandango. So I'm going to ask you a question I probably already know the answer to. John, what is your history with Nick Simper's Fandango Future Times?
Nothing.
All right, moving along.
No history. I'm so sorry.
Your history goes back. Well, where are we in the recording here? Your history goes back about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is about the same. So I got this when we originally did the Fandango album. I think I ordered the CD, and it was like a compilation, one of those CDs that have both albums on the same CD. So so I listened to those tracks when we did that episode, and I never listened to these because I was saving them for this episode that we were going to do, I don't know, 4 or 5 years later. So yeah, so there you go. Very little. We've got in this band, Nick Simper on bass, obviously, Mac Poole on drums, Pete Parks on guitar, and Jim Proops on lead vocal, which I believe is the same lineup from the first album. Produced by Nick Simper and Pete Parks, along with engineer Norbert Meidel, who is from a band called Lipstick. There you go.
So not a bad band name.
No, it's actually not.
So where are we in the timeline here? This is like what, late 70s or?
This came out, I believe, in 1980. So while Rod was whooping it up with the bogus Deep Purple, Nicky was actually doing something illegal.
Yeah, good.
That did not get him sued. So album cover. It's a pretty cool cover. What do you think of this Fandango Future Times cover?
Yeah, this is some pretty wild stuff. Yeah, I like how it it's called Future Time, so you have like a robot breaking through like a glass clock type of thing, while he's got his shadow of robot army behind him. You know, very, very literal. Looks like it could be like a metal album.
Yeah, shooting laser beams out of his eyes, and he's got like, it looks like speakers for nipples.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think of that. I just thought, oh, he's got speakers on his chest. It looks like a transformer, like an early transformer or something.
Or maybe like an early Japanese animation sort of one of those giant robots that they'd, fly a spaceship into his head and like go fight other giant robots.
Yeah.
They had a lot of shows like that.
Or like what do you call that? What was that? What was that thing where all the robots got together and made one big robot?
Voltron?
That's it, Voltron.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like a late 70s, early 80s album, like concept album cover. Um it's kind of neat. I mean, the artwork is not bad.
Actually, I dig the cover. It is very, on the nose. But yeah, you've got this one robot busting through the glass, like you said. You can see the shadows of the other ones that are about to come in next, and they look like they're kicking ass. It looks like
Indeed.
a bleak future. Your robot overlords.
Yeah, for whoever they're coming after.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with them. But yeah, it says Nick Simper's Fandango on the top, future times, and kind of a perfect strangers sort of scrawl.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the that's very tiny, the little record labels there on Shark Records. The shark giving the peace sign. Hey,
He's
it's
like,
a stoner shark. And then the back cover of the album, right here says, it shows Nick Simper standing behind a fence. It looks like almost like they're at like a, well, it's probably not a baseball field since they're British. We'll call it a soccer pitch or football pitch or whatever they call it. But yeah, I've got 3 guys there. Not 100% who the other 2 dudes are or why the 4th dude is not there at all. But it says, Nick Simper has to rank as one of Britain's most experienced bass players with an enviable track record, including the great Johnny Kidd and original Deep Purple. Nick formed heavy metal band Warhorse in 1970, shortly after Pete Parks joined, and so began a songwriting partnership which has been together ever since. In 1978, Parks and Simper met Jim Proops and Ron Penny on demo sessions, and they formed Fandango. Their first album, Slipstreaming, was released in 1979. Now comes the new album, Future Times, with Jim, Nick, and Peter out front showing that Fandango know what hard rock is all about. So I guess that's Jim, Nick, and Peter. And Mac Poole was busy that day. Didn't make the photo shoot. I don't know why he's not on there, but
all right, contractual reasons. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Recorded at Ton Studio Hilt, Pulstein, West Germany, August 1980. This one calls the on the back of the album, it says the engineer's name is Nobby Meidel instead of Norbert. So it must be a nickname, Nobby. So there you have it.
Yeah, probably.
This I think is the cover. There's like a close-up of that exact same picture from the back where they're all standing behind the fence. And that is the cover of the dual CD that has both albums on them. So
yeah,
I remember the first album had that like old-timey race car on it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a weird, it's like future times, and then they're just behind this chain link fence, like, hey, like doesn't make any sense.
Hey.
They're just like, hey.
Yeah, well, it kind of makes me think for some reason that scene in Terminator 2 where she grabs onto the fence and you see all the kids get nuked in the playground.
All right, fair enough. We can go with that.
Another bleak future times.
For sure.
But there you go. It's pretty short. Not a ton on this album. I had to do some real digging to find any information on this album. So yeah, we can kind of get right into the tracks, but we should, before we do that, thank our next level of patrons, which is our core level patrons. I'm sorry, foundation level patrons. I need to just change those. I never can remember which one's which. And it also doesn't matter. But coming in at the wait, no, I'm off. No, I was right. It was the core level. Yay, I got it right. At the $7.77 Keep It Warm Rat tier, we have Michael Vader. At the $6.99 new nice price tier, we have Spike the Rock Cat and Sugar Tea. At the episode $6.66 tier, we have Steve Coldwell, Arthur Smith.
Oh, you really biffed that one, Nate.
I did. That was biffed big time.
You want to be rich, don't you?
All right, so we got, where am I? At the $6.65 almost evil tier, Kenny Wymore and Richie Sucksmith. At the $6 what's going on here tier, Richard Fusey. At the $5.99, the nice price tier, Robert Smith and Carl Hellberg. At the 60 kroner Scandinavian Knights tier, we have Newt Morton Johansson. And at the $5 moneylender tier, we have John Convery, German Heindel, Adrian Hernandez, Jesper Alman, Alexei the Perfect Stranger Slepikov, Kev Roberts, Percival Frequency, Scott Zerns, Cynthia Doobie, Raf Calf, Coyote Bongwater, and John Maselli.
Yeah, Mona, she just sneezed, huh? Let's get out of here.
Sorry, I did that one before, but my post-production.
Still trying to figure out what it means. What he's.
Hey, let's get out of here. He's just a little Tony Maselli snort. All right, we'll get a new one for next week, maybe, if I remember. All right, so here we are. The final in the, I don't know, I guess you kind of lumped this to Warhorse into Nick Simper's Fandango because one continuum. And the first track on the first side is a song called Pull Out and Start Again. It's an interesting guitar tone.
Yeah, very punky sounding.
Nice bass line. Say rock is dead. It got pretty good groove to it. I don't remember slipstreaming too well.
No, me neither. I don't remember any of them that well.
I remember the second Warhorse album pretty well. Maybe better than I'd like.
Yeah, I'm going with that, very punky garage band sounding production.
Yeah. You're liking it, you said, or? No.
I don't hate it, but just the production's kind of lacking. I don't know if I really like his voice either.
I think it's, I mean, you're talking about almost 10 years after Well, 10 years after the first Warhorse album, really. Oh, no, I think it was it maybe 70? Well, whatever. Definitely like a more stripped down, straight ahead rock, whereas Warhorse, I think, was trying to be a little clever.
Yeah.
I kind of like the production. Like, I like the kind of almost punky sound, like you said. I'm not having any luck finding lyrics for this, so.
No, I wouldn't think so. Kind of a dirty message.
Yeah, pull out and start again. Yeah, I'm just trying to steer clear of it, but but there it is. All right. Pull out and start again. Oh, long fade out on that one. All right, what do you think of this one, John?
All right, well, contrary to popular belief, I'll give it a chance. Come on, you people all know I give it a chance.
You people, who are you talking to?
Everybody, you, the audience, everybody. Everybody think I'm like a Fandango hater. I'm not. I'll give it a chance.
Or you're
Like
just gonna go for a Fandango fan.
a fair shot. Well, no, let's not go that far.
A fan of Fandango.
No, I'll say 2.5.
All right.
I mean, you know, it's a rocker, but I mean, it's a little kind of like, I don't know, the production is kind of lacking. Like, I mean, there are good parts to it. I mean, it's a cool riff, and I mean, it's a cool guitar sound. I mean, you know, you hear Nick's bass bopping in the background. I probably would have you know, maybe mastered it like a little bit louder. First of all, I don't know. I don't know if I'm liking the vocalist. I have to maybe hear a few more songs, but he sounds kind of, I don't know. He's got that kind of high raspy voice, but it's like, I don't know if I really like it.
You don't like it? I'm trying to think. It's reminding me of something, like of somebody. He's got that like really like that sounded like just like a jungle cat, but
Yeah, and he
Cringer. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, I did them a silly snort. What do you give
All
it?
right, I will give it a 3. I actually like it. I like the I don't know. I just kind of like the vibe of it so far. So I don't know what the variety is going to be like on this album. So I'm interested to get into the other tracks. But I like the kind of driving sort of. I think it's a good tempo. I like it's got a nice beat and you can dance to it. I don't know.
Hey, oh,
I like the track. So.
all right.
Next track up is called "I'll Never Get Over You." Kind of sounds like Nirvana, like that Nirvana chorus sound.
I'll never get over you.
those harmonies.
Got a good clean singing voice.
Yeah. Sounds like with different production and like very slight tweaks to the instrumentation, this could have been like a hair metal ballad.
Yeah.
He's got like that kind of almost Vince Neil sounding voice.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a Beatles-esque sort of ending to it. Looks like there's something at the very end here. What's this? Oh, nothing. Just a little click in the track, I guess. John, I'll never get over you.
Aw.
You know,
I mean, I found
in the latest 70s Weekly Countdown podcast, the Gardeau sent out a long distance dedication from me to you, and it was Dr. Love made the countdown that week. So you'll have to listen for that.
oh, no, Mark and Pete.
Those scamps.
Those scamps.
All right, John, what do you think of I'll Never Get Over You?
You know what? I'll give it a 3. I actually didn't think it was too bad. I think that he had some nice harmonies at the end. I like his kind of cleaner singing voice. When he goes into that little raspy kind of bit, I don't like it as much. But yeah, I definitely think that the album's production is kind of thin. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, for the type of music that Nick was trying to make, you know, I feel like he could have like benefited from like, you know, kind of like thicker production, because I mean, he's not like, doesn't sound like he's trying to do like anything like kind of like, you know, punky or edgy, not that way anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
All right. I'll give it a 3 as well. Like, I thought it was pretty solid. Yeah, the production is what it is. It doesn't sound particular, like nothing on it sounds fantastic, like as far as like the production goes, but it's like I feel like for what it is, like they've got this kind of straightforward sort of punky sound to it, and I don't know, I kind of like it.
Almost amateurish, you know, like
Yeah.
like this was like a group that was just putting together some demos and they'd never recorded before.
Yeah, I don't know, I like it. I don't mind stuff like that if it's got like a cohesive sound to it, and
Well,
I
yeah,
think
I mean,
this stuff works that way.
Yeah, that could be good, but I'm just saying.
All right, next track up, Get Down, Lay Down. Lay down, stay down. Nice guitar there. hearing like that early Vince Neil?
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like, you know, kind of like nasally, like, you know, singing up in your nose type of thing.
Who was it that was it on Pot of Thunder, that producer they had on that had worked with Motley Crue?
Tom Mormon.
Yeah, he had the Vince Neil microphone.
You made him
Like, he had
sound
a
less
special
nasally.
microphone to try to compensate for his nasal vocals.
Yeah.
This guy is nowhere near as nasally as him, though. Simper, I think, he's been playing the same note the whole song.
Yeah, he's just doing that dun 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 dun. Dun. I mean, also nothing wrong with that kind of bass line if that's what the song calls for.
No. There you go. Just throwing in another note there. But I like that kind of just like that droning on that note works. There we go. Key change. Normally it'd be like a chord progression, but if you've been playing the same note for like 3 minutes and you change it, it's a key change.
Yeah.
So the Beatles had a song called The Word.
Yeah.
And the whole point of it was they wanted to write a song that was basically just one note and one chord the whole song. And it didn't really end up being that way. There's a couple of minor changes in it. But that song is only like 2 minutes and 40 seconds. This one is substantially longer.
Yeah, what's going on here?
You could fit 2 of the words inside of this song.
Song's kind of going on for a little while, isn't it?
It's a little long. The fade out is starting now.
Good. I mean, enough already.
Yeah, it's a little, the droning on the one note thing, as I previously said in it a different way, it can be a good concept, but yeah, you gotta need to know when to when to call it a day. It's about 5.5 minutes long. So far, I'm not seeing the robot destruction of the universe sort of thing matching the songs, but hey, plenty of album covers don't. John, what are you going to rank that one?
I'm gonna have to go another 2.5. It's like kind of a slog.
Yeah.
Very, very long and repetitive. It could have cut it down. It didn't have a lot of energy either.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I would. Yeah, I'm giving it a 2.5 too, and I think kind of the same thing. Like, I wonder. This is a pretty short album. You know, we only got one song left on the first side here, and that one's the longest at 5.5 minutes. I think I haven't started the next one yet. But yeah, it just didn't. It seemed like they were kind of padding there.
Yeah.
But the last
I mean,
track
just kind of a
on-
jam track or something, you know, like a jam song, but it
yeah,
wasn't really.
and if there had been like, you know, I have no problem with the doom doo doom doo doo. It was a nice little. They had a good group going on. If this track had been cut almost in half, I think it could have been, you know, a decent little album track. But yeah, I think it was just a little overdone. But the last track on the first side is a track called "She Was My Friend." This one seems much quieter. Bring it up a little bit.
Every morning, I hear her walking by my door.
Another one with harmonies here.
Just one blind man could ask for anything.
Yeah, this is one where I'd say like the mixing is very off on this song.
One day, she come right up and knock on my door. I don't know, just my thoughts. I don't think it'll come to anything more.
These guitars are reminding me of something. John, you're looking. You're very up close with the camera, and you just got this look like you're expecting me to do something. You're like.
It's also very bright. Take down this brightness a
Yeah,
little
take
bit.
down the brightness a little bit. There you go. Now you look more contemplative. Less intimidating.
What can I do? What can I say? I keep wanting to go away.
These
Thoughts escape me. I just want to say, I just want to stay with you.
I don't know, I feel bad because like now this is we like interviewed Nick Simper. I like him, but it's just like don't think these are good songs.
What if you think about it like the robots are singing the harmonies? This one seems like it would have been a like at home on like an album in like the late 60s. Like it's produced and arranged a bit to be like kind of that hard rock ballad sort of style.
Yeah.
So far they've ping-ponged between semi-rockers and semi-ballads.
Be in love yourself. I know the way I want it to be. I know I can see.
Ooh. Nice little riff in the background. I like that.
Why does the guitar sounds kind of like twangy
Yeah.
or like hollow?
folks.
She was my friend.
It sounds like the guitar is a little out of tune.
She was my friend.
Think so? Oh, yeah.
The guitar is kind of picking out the.
My soul, my inspiration. The only way to get in touch with her is be in love yourself. That's the way I want it to
Did you
be.
catch that lyric?
'Cause I know she loves me.
Couldn't make it out.
Oh, you know who there's a oh, hang on.
Is it something? Are you thinking of something as far as the singing goes?
Yeah, it sounds like that song by, I think, is it Nazareth? Love hurts.
Oh yeah,
Love.
love hurts. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yep. All right. She was my friend, John. Is this song your friend?
No. Do you hear that, by the way?
I did.
Hmm. Um,
The egg isn't working.
no. Well, I mean, it doesn't stop a dog from being stressed, so it's they're gonna make the noise anyway. Um,
What does it do? Were we talking about this on the show
no,
or before the show?
no, so now everybody's gonna be confused.
There's like an egg that makes the dog stop barking. You
No,
put
it's
the dog in this giant like Mork from Orc egg.
no, it's it's an egg-shaped device that emits one of those frequencies that only dogs can hear, and if they bark, then it's supposed to emit that sound, and it's unpleasant to them, and then they stop. Um, if you're hearing anything in the background right now, you can hear the dog in my house is ignoring it.
Yep, the dog is not
The
not
dog is not
phased
a
by the egg
is
sound.
not abiding. Shut up.
I could hear that still. I hope we can hear that on the final recording. Okay, so what do you rank She Was My Friend?
Well, she's not going to be my friend after I give this rating. I give it a 2.
All right.
I mean, I could finally pinpoint that he's kind of has that like that singer from Nazareth type of like kind of like trying to have that same kind of grit or being that same type of vocalist, but not as good.
He's Dan McCafferty. Love hurts.
Ooh,
It's terrible.
oof! I wish there was an egg to stop that.
It's just it's something that electrically shocks me when I do my Dan McCafferty impression. Ah! Actually,
Oh, and you go,
it just sound it maybe
oh.
to improve my impression of it like I'll give it a 2 as well. Yeah, I just feel like the production on this one and the mix, like those harmonies were actually pretty nice, but they were really high in the mix. I think they should have been a little more subtle, but yeah, just from a songwriting standpoint, it's like she's my friend and I want her to be my friend. It was just like a little too much. But as we flip it over to the next side B here, we open with the title track, The Titular, Future Times. I was expecting more of a riff-based rocker.
Yeah. I like the effects on the vocals.
Yeah.
Very busy verse with, you know, the picking out the notes and everything.
Yeah.
Not terrible.
I feel like it's missing, like, I feel like this band overall is missing keyboards. Like, I think they could have just to like thicken it up a little.
I mean, it makes me think of like a demo. You know, this sounds like a demo quality recording. Like even the way the guitar is being played, it sounds like, all right, it sounds like he's playing it like really shaky. Like they haven't run through it enough, you know, to get it down.
They probably weren't.
You know,
they didn't have money to burn on studio time, I'm sure. So they were.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, at this point, I mean, you know, it's like Simper was not exactly a new guy in the industry at this point. I'm not saying he had a ton of money to blow on a studio or something, but you know, been around for over 10 years. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like he could have like put out something more professional sounding. Well, hey, you're talking about keyboards. There's something.
Yeah, something going on there.
A little bit in there now.
I actually like the guitar playing and the chord progression on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's at least interesting. All right, the long fade out again. That one's clocking in at about 440. All right, John. Future times, the titular. The titular, future times. I'll give it a 3 for effort.
Are you going ahead and ranking songs on albums we haven't done yet, or was that a mistake?
Whoops, obviously that was a mistake.
I thought it was a mistake. I didn't know if you were just trying to make a joke out of the next album review we're doing, but
No.
it also seemed kind of implausible that you would get that particular song on that particular album, that particular score.
Well, also, I would rather be listening to that album right now, but that's
well, that goes without saying. You'd probably rather be listening to that than most things.
But yeah, I'll give this a 3 for effort. It was like it was a little bit, I could tell what they were going for.
Yeah.
And it was my yeah. I don't know how to say it. It was mildly executed mildly well,
Yeah.
I
I'll give it
guess.
a 3 as well. I thought there were some flashes of things that like you said, you could see what they were going for on it. And I think if you had a little bit of time, you could have, I think even with most of the stuff, if it was just remixed and remastered, it could sound a lot better. But yeah, it sounds like they didn't have a ton of passes at the on the mixing board, so that might be part of what the issue is.
Yeah.
The next track up is called Undercover Man. It's almost a Deep Purple sort of riff.
Hmm.
Early in the morning, you'll be creeping round your door. Early, without warning, you'll be creeping across the floor. I'm telling you so, I hope you'll understand.
It's also very dry, like vocals here too.
Yeah.
That's a cool riff.
I like this riff.
You'll be looking through your window, climbing upstairs. You say he knows your mother. You tell you he's your friend. Don't give a damn. You better understand.
I think this song would be better titled as like Creepy Pervert Man. He's not really undercover. He's just like sneaking around, peeking in your window. He's like, how is he undercover?
Good
Or maybe he's
point.
undercover as a pervert. Like,
Or
don't
undercover as a
worry, I'm
normal
actually
person.
a cop. I'm just
He's
pretending
actually
to be.
yeah, exactly. He's undercover as a
pretending-
normal person.
I'm actually a normal cop, but I'm pretending to be a creepy pervert, peeking in your window, telling you I know your mom. And don't worry, somebody's in your window like this with binoculars. Hey, don't worry, I know your mom.
That sounds even worse.
That sounds way worse. There's got to be some like old Nick Simper's Fandango fan site from GeoCities that's got the lyrics to this. I just haven't been able to find it. It's like a million of those crappy lyric sites, and you go to it, and there's like, we don't have the lyrics to this yet.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for faking me out. See, now there's just this long part in here, which is like, now I'm just bored.
Yeah, it was like the creepy bridge about like you're sailing down a river and he's like in a boat behind you, like in his trench coat.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard, but I know your mom.
Yeah. Yeah, the main riff is good, but that's all that I'm really digging here.
It's actually really good. Yeah, when they get out of that like bridge part and it goes back to the riff, it's like, yeah. Did he say he wants money?
He wants money?
I thought that's what he said. So this whole album is 37 minutes, almost 38.
Oh, that's good.
Pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
Oh. I mean, yeah, that's pretty. It's pretty sure that's like that was a. I don't know if it was an average or a little less than average running time for a '70s album.
Yeah, I mean it's 1980. I mean, like the Beatles had albums that length that had 12 songs on them, you know, so 4 additional songs than this one. So yeah, this is I don't know why I'm comparing them to Beatles. It's probably not the most obvious thing to compare them to.
Oh, you'll do anything to bring up the Beatles.
That's true. How long were the Kiss albums? They probably were about
Yeah, in the early days they were like 40 minutes.
Why
And
do
then
you
just
do you hear that beeping on my computer, that dinging?
yeah, I was like it's like boo-doo.
It keeps like doing this. It was doing it the other day. It's like, your USB device is not connected. It's like, I don't need a sound about that. I gotta like kill my system sounds or something. So it doesn't interfere with the show. Okay. Undercover Man. What do you rank this one?
See, it has the most like I think one of the catchiest riffs.
I would say so.
Excuse me. Oh man. Yeah, I'll give it a 3. I'll give it a 3 because I liked the riff.
All right.
Yeah, that's what it's got going for it.
I will also agree with that. I'll give it a 3. I did like the riff. Yeah, the middle bridge section seemed a little out of place.
Yeah. Like I it kind of just happened and I was like, wait a minute, is this different than what we were just listening? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know?
Yep, I agree.
So yeah, it kind of tricked me and lulled me in, and then I'm like, all right, this doesn't really seem to fit in with anything.
All right. Next track up. Something's Burning. But it's not super hot riffs. It is bringing it down. Again, they keep seeming to, well, I guess Future Time's into this one, but that was a little forced. I hear your warm and rhythmic breathing.
I don't like I like his ballad voice.
I want it to be a duet where the woman's like, would you shut up and let me sleep? Sounding a little Rod-like on this one.
Yeah.
Like when Rod really gets into it.
Doesn't really sound like, and I know he's not trying to be like heavy metal or heavy rock or something, but this just it sounds like it's very like light, not even like light rock, just I don't know what kind of rock you would like classify this as.
I don't know. All I could think of when he says something's burning is all I could think of was that Frank Zappa song, Why Does It Hurt When I Pee?
Pops always liked Don't Eat the Yellow Snow.
Yeah. That's a good one. My kids grew up with that one. It's like one of the only Frank Zappa albums that you could kind of listen to front to back and not have anything super offensive happen other than somebody peeing in the snow. And all the references, I guess, to Eskimos. That's not really appropriate, but it was 1970 whatever, 4. But compared to other Frank Zappa songs, or albums, it's pretty tame.
You hear that with that guitar strumming along? It's just this clean ding 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 ding, you know, like it's and then like folk rocky or like.
Yeah, I don't know what to. Oh, I like this. Are we doing a? Oh, are we having a world-class outro here? Let's see. All right, it's another one. Pushing another long fade out, pushing the 5-minute mark on that one. So, all right, John, what do you think of Something Burning?
Yeah, something's burning, all right. I got nothing to follow that with. Trying to make it sound like an insult, but I
was
nothing.
waiting for the punchline.
Yeah, something's burning, all right. Like my last nerve. I don't know.
It's like one of those like comics like a mom would put up in her cubicle, you know. It's from a Kathy comic. This song is getting on my last nerve.
Rah. Ack. That's right. I was trying to figure out what was her punch phrase.
you thought her punchline was her catchphrase was
Rah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Jesus. All right. You know what? I'll give it a 3. I'm just rating this album inside this album. Obviously. I mean, I think that the build up to the chorus was actually pretty good. I mean, there's some, there's some like some decent like vocal kind of harmonies in there. And the world-class outro had its moments. But yeah, overall it sounds yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll save this for my assessment of the entire album.
Okay. I'll give it a 2.5.
Oh.
I liked the outro quite a bit. The structure of the song was interesting. I feel like it was, you never have one of those songs where it does this whole thing and then it does the whole thing again and you're just like, ugh. I kind of felt like that, where it's like that first, like, oh, we're in bed and I can hear the impulses and hear you converting oxygen to carbon dioxide as you sleep. And it was all that. And then it goes in a dan dan dugga dugga dun dun dun. Then it goes back and it does the whole thing again. And by that point, I was like, okay, it's gonna do this whole thing again. Liked the outro, but it was really the lyrics that were just too much for me. It was very like kind of, I get it, it's a love song. It's gonna be sappy in a way, but I feel like it was lyrically the weakest song on the album. Yeah, 2.5 from this guy. But had some good musical moments. The final song on this album is called Hard Drink and Easy Woman.
Oh boy.
Oh no, in Easy Women, sorry.
No, more than one woman.
One hard drink, many easy women. That's one hard drink. Oh. Wow.
Tempo is probably the fastest on the album.
I like those little guitar harmonies too. This is a song I feel like with different production could really cook.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, all the pieces are here. I love this progression here. But the mix is just kind of a little jumbled.
Yeah, it's not heavy enough.
Yeah. But all the elements are there for it to be super heavy. Like someone should pick this one up and
Yeah, see, like that has like no balls to it.
yeah, it's just like the tone of it. It was very, very dry. Like could have used some effects there.
Yeah, I mean, if you had some effects and he was like, you know, doing those bends and everything, and you're really feeling the power of that section,
Yeah.
then it would have really, you know, hit me a lot more, I think. I think some like harmony solos at the end would be killer.
Changangangag, Manchagagag, Chabanagangamag.
Did you do that on purpose?
I did do that on purpose. Usually it's accidental.
Would have been funnier if it was accidental, but it's still funny.
Okay, I'll edit that out. Oh, whoops. All right. What do you think of hard drink and easy women? The song, not the actual items.
2.5.
Okay.
And I'm giving it that based on my disappointment with what it could have been.
See, I'm giving it a 3.5 based on what I hear it could have been. So it's kind of like the opposite ends of the spectrum. But
well, yeah, because you're rewarding it, and I'm pissed at it.
Yeah, you're mad that it was, because it did have a lot of really good elements. It was good that there's a lot of things they could have done with that. But yeah, I think it was just a where it was, how it was produced. Who knows what like I said, I couldn't find any information about this. You could ask Nick.
Yeah.
I probably should have asked him before we did the episode, but
well, tell him, but then don't tell him we reviewed it. I don't want him to get mad.
I don't know if Nick listens to podcasts.
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I get the impression from talking to Nick that he's very I mean, he knows we love him. And I get the feeling that he's very real. I feel like guys like this that have been around as long as he has have developed a pretty thick skin, most of them. And can take criticism from a couple of do nothing knuckleheads like us criticizing, something, or even being like, we've even had situations like, I'm trying to think if there was an example within the last year of someone listening to one of our episodes and me thinking like, ooh, like we were not super kind to it, but they were like, oh yeah, you guys were really fair, and I thought that was really good or whatever. And I was like, oh, I was kind of surprised. I feel like they have a better perspective on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the other thing too is like, I mean, if I was actually talking to him about this, I wouldn't be rude about it. You know what I mean? Like obviously we joke around, or we'll say things and just be like, ugh, I can't wait for it to be over. But it's like, I would never say that to like a person that was involved in it, like, because not because it's like, ooh, I'm afraid. It's just like, it's just not nice to say to somebody to their face. It's like, if he was on and we were like doing the album review, like with him, I would just, I'd probably, say things differently. But I mean, that's,
but
that's not what our show is.
We've always tried to make our show not be, just trying to find the good in things and not just trashing things blindly.
Well, exactly. And I mean, I don't think that I'm trashing any of this stuff. It's just, I just don't think it's really that good, and I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, for sure. But I can see some elements in it that could.
Oh, I can, yeah.
But, like I said, we don't know. We weren't in the business, and we certainly weren't in the business 45 years ago or whatever this was being recorded, to know, again, how much studios cost, what kind of time they had, all that sort of stuff. Sometimes you got to rush through it, and sometimes you don't have everything as fully formed as you want to. You're just trying to go through and get albums out and all that sort of stuff. So it's hard sometimes. But anyway, that is the album. And while John fumbles with the spreadsheet, I will do something else, which is to thank our foundation level patrons coming in at the £3.50 Deep Purple New York tier. We have Lord Longford. At the £3 aromatic feed tier, we have Simon Ford and Richard Brees. At the $3.33 halfway to evil tier, Stephen Sharp and Duncan Leask. At the $3 Nobody's Perfect tier, we have Peter Gardeau, Ian DeRosier, Mark Roback, Stuart McCord, Ivan Fjeldbu, Runar Simonson. JJ Stenard, Ruinous Inadequacies, Corey Morissette, Ashley. And Weston Supermare Pilgrim. At the $1.71 I Want My Own tier, we have
Rich, Yangui, Shaylor. Who the hell is that?
at the 10 kroner. Where are we? At the 10 kroner tier. Is it just the 10 kroner tier? Do we not have a name for that? Anyway, at the 10 kroner tier, we have Karsten Lau.
Cold, hard Danish kroner.
And at the $1 made-up name tier, we have the Get Down, Leak Down, Leaky Mausoleum, Stephen Somerville Concerto 1999 Fanatic, Hank the Tank, Private Eyes, Ashen Lionel,
Blackmore tights.
Steve Down to Earth Kohler, Zwapper the Electric Alchemist, Anders Engstrom, ICDC, Derple Purple, Purple Swede.
Swede?
And David Haddam. Thank you so much to all of you for your generous support of the Deep Purple podcast. And you know what time it is.
Well, John's busting out the spreadsheets, and he's fumbling with the tabs. Oops, he sorted it the wrong way. Now he can't tell what is bad.
All right, John, where does Nick Simper's Fandango Future Times rank in our overall album rankings?
Where do you think it ranks?
Somewhat towards the bottom with other Fandangos and
toward
early
the
Deep Purple, early Trapeze.
Yep, toward the very bottom. 5.5.
Okay. I think 5.5 out of 10 is a fair ranking for this album.
Well, this is actually it's a little bit below Fandango. It would be JLT.
JLT's
and
Fandango.
above Quatermass, and actually 5 spots below Slipstreaming. So it's actually you know, we both like this less than his first effort, which actually me not by much, but you know, I gave that a 3, and this one I gave it 2.81.
Mm-hmm. No, I gave it a 2.81. You gave it a 2.69.
Yeah. All right. There we go. That makes more sense. I don't know why I always look at your ratings when I always think I'm on the right. I don't know why. But yeah, so yeah, kind of toward the bottom. I figured it would wind up here, and I you know, went into it earnestly, you know, wanted to be fair, trying to find some good, but it was hard. You know, it sounded, I don't think the songs were that good. I don't know that they were fleshed out or whatever, but I just don't think they were great songs. I didn't really think the singer was that good. I don't think the production was good. It was really weak. I mean, even on that last song, just hearing that guitar solo just broke my heart, because it's just like, it just sounded like somebody not going through any effects or anything.
Yeah.
And it's like and it's the tragedy is like I could see like what they were going for, and there was no power behind it because there was no distortion, there was no bottom end, there was no thickness, and a lot of the songs too honestly sounded like they weren't, you know, rehearsed through a lot. So I don't know. I just think it sounded really amateurish, and it was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree. I think it, to me, sounded like time. I don't know how much time exactly was between the first album and this one, but it sounds like if they had more time developing the songs, maybe an arrangement in the actual recording and the, you know, the mixing and all of that, like if they had put a little bit more time, again, usually the luxury of time comes down to they didn't have the time or the money to do it. But if they had a little more time to just go into the studio and be ready and know what sounds they wanted to get and stuff like that, it just didn't sound, it sounded like everything was rushed. And like you said, if they had gone in and put this down as a demo and then made the changes they wanted to take and then gone back, I mean, I could see a huge difference between those two, but this is the last thing that they put out, and I think they probably just were at the end of whatever with their label, and they probably said, you have X number of pounds to get this done, and here you go, and that's probably what we got as a result.
Yeah, and I mean, I mean, even like I don't know, 10 plus years earlier, I mean, Simper was hanging with making albums with uh really good musicians. I mean, albeit at the beginning of their career, but I mean, it's like um um even at the beginning of their career, like Lord, Blackmore, Pace, um,
And
you know what I
Rick
mean?
Wakeman was in Warhorse originally too.
Yeah, I mean, these weren't people that I mean, the songs were really, the arrangements were complex, and they were just like really creative musicians. So I can't believe that he's just not good. I just maybe he wasn't surrounded with as good of musicians, or the circumstances were the same, or maybe just on his own he's not like the best songwriter.
Yeah, I mean, really strong in combination with the right people, and a great. Always enjoyed his bass playing.
Hmm.
But yeah, if as the band leader too, having someone else be and I don't know what the songwriting makeup of this was, who was putting most of it together. I just don't know. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's what it is. But there are more Nick Simper things in the future, and we did talk about eventually doing covering one of the newer live things that he's doing with the Mark I songs, as we've both really enjoyed that. So
Well, hopefully, I'd like to, hold out some hope here that, the some of the future things that he does is gonna like something is gonna hit on, being, better,
yeah,
project that he's involved in. I mean, certainly the live stuff, that we checked out was pretty cool. But that was the
yeah,
purple stuff, I'm talking about original.
yep, 100%. Couldn't find any reviews or anything from this. Again, it was very, very slim pickings, but there was one mention of it that I found in Darker Than Blue, the Deep Purple fan magazine. And I also just recently bid on and won on eBay a collection of um, a pretty nice collection to round out some of the holes in my Darker Than Blue collection. So slowly filling that in with by stumbling among people selling old copies. So this one says Nick Simper's Fandango, Future Times, from Shark, Germany, 1980. He says, my German is not very good, which sounds like one of our old friends, right?
My Czechoslovakian is not so good.
So it's funny. I didn't even plan on that, but I just clipped that the other day, and I was like, oh, perfect time to play it. My German is not very good. Well, non-existent, really. But there does seem to be a second album out by Nick Simper's current band. As the first LP, Slipstreaming, reviewed some time ago, was poorly received, we thought the band had just fizzled out. But it looks as if they might have gone to ground in Europe to earn a living. I expect some import copies will surface here for those of you dedicated or curious enough to want it. It's unlikely that Gull Records will want to issue it here. There are 9 titles listed, which is interesting because we only have 8. Pull Out and Start Again, I'll Never Get Over You, Get Down, Lay Down, She Was My Friend. And then second side, Future Times, Undercover Man, Something's Burning, Hard Drinks and Easy Women. Okay, that is only 8. Maybe they thought Hard Drinks and Easy Women were 2 different songs.
Okay.
And then they finish by saying, geez, the titles alone are enough to put me off it. And that's it. So I don't think they ever came back and actually reviewed it, unless it's in a different issue that's not available or searchable on the electronic version here. But if you do have a review of this, let me know. I'd be interested to hear some more information on it. But yeah, I don't have a ton of links in the show notes for this one because there's not a lot of info out there. I do have a link to the deeppurple.net Stargazer issue where this is mentioned, as well as the Fandango page on that site. So that's it, John. That is the latest and greatest from Nick Simper's Fandango.
Bit of a shorter episode.
It is a shorter episode. It's very short when there's no information.
Yeah.
and it's a short album time-wise. So a shorter episode as promised, folks. Anything else before we close it out?
Nah, Nikki, we love you.
We love you, Nikki. And we'll be back at you next week with another hot episode of the Deep Purple Podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Deep Purple Podcast. If you like what you hear and would like more episodes in the future, please donate on Patreon to support the show. You can also leave us a review in Apple Podcasts to help new people discover the show. You can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for show updates. See deeppurplepodcast.com for more details. Thank you for listening.